Hello students, how are you all? I hope you all are doing well. So this video is part 2 of chapter 1 Nutrition in Plants, and part 1 has already uploaded. So here in this video we will cover the topics importance of photosynthesis, heterotrophic mode of nutrition, special mode of nutrition, and replenishment of nutrients in the soil. So let's start with the first topic, importance of photosynthesis. Photosynthesis process, that is already explained in the previous video, that what the process of preparing food in the plants in the presence of sunlight. That is what photosynthesis process means, what the food prepared by the plants in the presence of sunlight. So here, can you imagine the earth in the absence of photosynthesis? Answer is no, and why? Means, can we imagine the earth without process of photosynthesis? What things will happen? It is answer is no, we cannot imagine. But why we cannot imagine? Why? Because here, first point, photosynthesis enables the green plants to make their own food. Means photosynthesis helps the green plants to prepare their own food. In the absence of photosynthesis, there would not be any plants. Means if photosynthesis process will not be there, then plants will not be able to survive, because they will not get the food, so they will not be able to survive. Second, the survival of all animals in the world directly or indirectly depends upon the food made by the plants. Means survival of all animals means other than plants also the survival of other organisms like humans and animals in the world, directly or indirectly we are depending upon the plants. If plant will not be able to survive, means photosynthesis process will not be there, so plants will also not be there, and if plants will not be able to survive, we humans and animals will also not be able to survive. Third point, oxygen, which is essential for the survival of all living organisms. As we know, oxygen, now like we breathing, so for that what is very important? Oxygen. So oxygen, which is very important for the survival of all the living organisms, so it is produced during photosynthesis. Means what? It is produced during the process of photosynthesis process. We know that in the result, at the last, in the photosynthesis process, what releases out? Oxygen. So carbon dioxide is used by plants during photosynthesis, and we know that the carbon dioxide which is present in the atmosphere, it is used by the plants during the process of photosynthesis. So we can say that photosynthesis maintains the balance between oxygen and carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. So we can say that ultimately what photosynthesis helps to maintain the balance between oxygen and carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, because in the atmosphere oxygen, carbon dioxide, many gases are there in different ratios. So oxygen and carbon balance, who maintains? Photosynthesis process helps to do this process. So in the absence of photosynthesis, life on the earth would be impossible. Means what? So in the absence of photosynthesis, life on the earth would be impossible. It will be very tough without photosynthesis. Okay, so here next is plants also synthesize proteins and fats. As we know, plants prepare their food during the process of photosynthesis, but other than this, or more what they synthesize, means more what they prepare? Proteins and fats. Okay, so here we have just learned that plants synthesize carbohydrates. During the process of photosynthesis, plants what prepare? They synthesize, means prepare. They prepare carbohydrates through the process of photosynthesis. Okay, so plants can also synthesize other components of food such as proteins and fats. Means other than carbohydrates, plants what can more prepare? Proteins and fats also. So proteins are substances which contain nitrogen, and we know that, and it is there that proteins are those substances in which nitrogen is also present. Means the substance which contains nitrogen, proteins are those substances. So from where do the plants obtain nitrogen? Means plants also need nitrogen, then only it can prepare what? Proteins. So how the plants get the nitrogen? This is the question. So here we will see how plants get nitrogen. So plants cannot use the nitrogen present in the atmosphere. Means what? Plants directly cannot use the nitrogen which is present in the atmosphere. Like in the atmosphere, many gases are present. So plants using some gases directly, but some not using directly. Like nitrogen do not get used directly by the plant. So how it used by the plants? How, in which form? We will see here that they need nitrogen in a soluble form. Means plants need nitrogen in a soluble form, not in a gaseous form. So how they get? So soil has certain bacteria called rhizobium bacteria. Like what? Soil has some in soil many things are present, minerals, nutrients, and one bacteria is also present in the soil, that is called rhizobium bacteria, which can take atmospheric nitrogen and convert it into water soluble components. Water soluble nitrogen component means what is the function of rhizobium bacteria? It take nitrogen from atmosphere and convert this nitrogen into water soluble form. Nitrogen components form like nitrates, means it is called in the chemical form it is nitrates, means rhizobium bacteria convert nitrogen gas into nitrogen, water soluble nitrogen component, and release it into the soil, and this bacteria release this nitrogen in the solute form into the soil, and from soil these nitrates, means what? Nitrogen only, these nitrates are absorbed by the plants along with water and cereals, means what? And this nitrogen gas which is in the soluble form are used by the plants along with water and cereals, means plants take water and cereals from the soil through the roots, so nitrogen also absorbed by the same process. Then also fertilizers are rich in nitrogen, and fertilizers also people used to put in the soil, to enrich the soil, to increase the soil's nutrient. So what? Fertilizers are also which is what? Rich in nitrogen. In the fertilizers nitrogen is present in a very good amount. So plants absorb nitrogen from these fertilizers, and plants absorbing this nitrogen from the fertilizers also, fertilizers we used to put in the soil or in the plants, so that what? Nitrogen requirement can be fulfilled. So certain plants like sunflower and mustard convert simple carbohydrate glucose into oils and store them in their seeds. So what? Plants plants like sunflower and mustard, they convert simple carbohydrates, because what? During the process of photosynthesis carbohydrates get formed, glucose get formed, so that glucose how they store? In the form of oils, and they store in the in their seeds, means that oil is stored in the seeds of the plants. Which plants? Sunflower and mustard. And we used to use the oil also now of sunflower oil, mustard oil. So what? This oil is what? It is their glucose. So plants also synthesize vitamins. What? Plants also synthesize vitamins, means plants also prepare vitamins, and vitamins are found in vegetables, fruits and cereals. Vitamins means what? They are found in mostly vegetables, fruits and cereals parts of the plants. So next topic is here heterotrophic mode of nutrition. As we have studied in the previous video, which mode of nutrition? Autotrophic mode of nutrition, in which what? The plants were there and they prepare their own food by themselves. Now next is which mode of nutrition? Heterotrophic. Okay, so here there are some plants which do not have chlorophyll. As we have seen, the green plant mostly what? Having chlorophyll, but some plants do not have chlorophyll. So how they perform the process of photosynthesis? How will they get the food? Here is the question. So that question answers that here, that they cannot synthesize their food, means those plants do not contain chlorophyll, they cannot synthesize, means they cannot prepare their food. Like humans and animals, means we humans and animals what? We do not have chlorophyll, we cannot prepare our food in our body, na? We take food what? From the others. So such non-green plants depend on the food produced by the other green plants. Like what? Some non-green plants are also like us, that depend also on others for the food. And whom they depend? They depend on green plants. So this is called heterotrophic mode of nutrition, and that process of taking nutrition is called heterotrophic mode of nutrition, means those organisms which are depending on others for the food. So that process of taking nutrition is called heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Let us study in detail how this heterotrophic plants derive their nutrition, means we'll study in detail that how heterotrophic plants take the nutrition from green plants. So first process of this heterotrophic nutrition, first nutrition is saprotrophic nutrition. Now what is saprotrophic nutrition? Here we will see some non-green plants obtain their nutrients from dead and decaying organic matter of plants and animals. Means what? Some non-green plants, okay, what they do? They take the nutrition from the dead and decaying organic matter of plants and animals. Means from the dead body of plants and animals they take nutrition. and such plants are usually white in color and have no leaves at all. Means what? Mostly these plants are white in color and having no leaves at all. So here the mode of nutrition in which the non-green plants obtain their nutrients from dead and decaying organic matter of plants and animals is called saprotrophic nutrition. Means that only कि the process of nutrition, the mode of nutrition in which what non-green plants taking the nutrients from the other dead and decaying matter of plants and animals, and that process of nutrition is called saprotrophic nutrition. And the plants which use saprotrophic mode of nutrition are called saprophytes. Means those plants which are taking nutrition from dead organic matter, so those plants will be called as saprophytes. For example, Indian pipe and coral root. Here we can see this Indian pipe, this white color plant, that is what? Saprotroph. Okay, and here saprophyte, sorry, and here it is coral root, which is what? Saprophyte, and they are not green color, है ना? That is why they are not able to do the photosynthesis process, because they are not having green color. That the background green color is different plant. Here this white one is Indian pipe. So, and they are called saprophytes. So the roots of saprophytes contain organisms called fungi. Means what? In their roots, in the roots of saprophytes plants, what is present? They are fungi. The fungi, like mushrooms, secrete digestive juices on the dead and decaying matter. Means what? What is the functioning of here fungi? Fungi is what? Creating the digestive juices on the dead and decaying matter of the plants and animals, and convert it into a liquid that is used as nutrient by the non-green plant. And that digestive juices convert on their body and leave it in the form of liquid, so that what? The green plants can use this liquid as a form of nutrients. So fungi like molds, mushrooms and yeast and bacteria are known as saprotrophs. Means this bacteria, these organisms are called saprotrophs because they are helping in the creating the nutrients on the dead decaying matter. So fungi were earlier considered to be plants, but due to the presence of some characteristics different from plants, they are no longer considered as plants. Means what? Earlier it was considering as what? Plants. Fungi were considered to be plants, but because of some different characteristics from plants, they are no longer considered as plants. They have special category. They form an entirely different category of organisms. Means now fungi is a special different category of organism and are considered as separate kingdom. Means they have a separate kingdom, means separate category they have. Now second nutrition is parasitic nutrition. Now what is parasitic nutrition? Cascata amarbel, है ना? Amarbel is a Cascata is a plant name which is amarbel only. It is a non-green plant. We can see here through the picture Cascata. As you can see, it is a bale amarbel, है ना? It is a non-green plant. We can see here yellowish it is. It is not fully what? Green. It is a non-green plant. It does not have chlorophyll, and we can understand that non-green plant means it is not having chlorophyll. It cannot make its own food, and we know that if it is not having chlorophyll, so it cannot make its own food. Its long yellowish thread-like stems twine around the stem and branches of the tree. As we can see, here is the tree. On the branches of the tree, that amarbel is twining around the tree. On the tree on which it climbs, means on the that amarbel is climbing on the tree. It has a special structure called hostoria, which pierces into the plant's body on which it climbs for absorption of ready-made food. Means what? That amarbel having a special structure, special function, that what? It enters into the plant's body for the absorption of ready-made food which other plant prepare. So here the mode of nutrition in which some plants live in or on the body of other living organisms and derive their ready-made food from them is called parasitic nutrition. Means what? The process of nutrition in which some plants, not all the plants, some plants live in or on the body of other living organisms. Means in which some plants living on the body of other living organism and taking the ready-made food from the other organism. So that process is called parasitic nutrition. Like what? Some plants, those who are depending on dead and decaying matter, they are saprotrophic, and those plants which are living in and taking the ready-made food from other living organisms, that is called parasitic nutrition. So the plant like Cascata, which obtains the ready-made food, is called a parasite. Means what? Those plants which taking the ready-made food from others, they are called as parasites, and the organisms from whose body the food is obtained is called the host, and the other organism who is providing the food to the plants, so that organism will be called as host, and the one who is taking the food from the other organism will be called as parasite. So please remember these terms. So here parasites may be total or partial. Means parasites means the plants, parasitic plants can be, some plants can be totally depend, or some plants can be partial. Partial means some part they depend. Okay, so Cascata is a total parasite, means Cascata amarbel is a total parasite, means totally depend for the food on the other living organism. A few fungi and bacteria are also total parasite, means fungi and bacteria are also total parasite, means they are also totally depend on others for the food. So some plants like mistletoe are partial parasites. This plant here, this mistletoe is what? Partial parasite, means it is not fully depend on the other organism, because mistletoe plant has green leaves, because mistletoe is here in this picture we can see that mistletoe plant has green leaves, but totally it is not depend on other living organism, on other plant. So these green leaves make their own food. These green leaves can make their own food, but this plant receives water and minerals from the host plant, but the water and minerals directly cannot take from the soil, because it is living on other plants body na. As we can see here, this is one tree, and on that mistletoe plant has been grown on the body of other tree. So water and minerals also it require, so it cannot directly take from the roots of this plant. So what happened, it is growing on the branches of the tree and taking water and minerals from them. Okay, and photosynthesis process they can do by their own, but for water and mineral they are depending on it, means for partially, for some part they are depending on other. That is why this type of plants are called as parasitic plants, and this nutrition is called parasitic nutrition. Now the third in this is symbiosis. Now what is symbiosis here? Lichens are the most amazing forms of life. Lichens are the most amazing forms of life, means lichen is an organism, it is very amazing form of life. A lichen is actually composed of two distinct organisms, means lichen is actually it is made by two distinct organisms. It is composed of two distinct organisms like algae and fungi. Okay, algae and fungi they form together lichens. So they live which live and work together, means lichens and this algae and fungi live and work also together. The algae contain chlorophyll and make their own food. Now algae is what? Green color. Algae what does? Algae have, because of green color they contain chlorophyll and they can make their own food. But the fungi share the food made by the algae, but fungi is not green. It is what? It takes the food made by the algae. Okay. So the fungi in return provide protection, water and minerals to the algae. So what? They living together and they are working also together. So in return, because fungi taking the food from the algae, so fungi in return what providing to the algae? Provide protection, means they provide protect the algae, water, providing water and minerals to the algae. Here this picture, in this picture you can see that what it is, that green is what? Algae, and here whitish is fungi, and they are living together, they are working together, they are sharing the things together, and this relationship, this mutual relationship is called symbiosis. Here the association in which two different types of organisms live and work together for their mutual benefits is called symbiosis. Means that process, that association, means that organization, means that working together in which two different organisms living and working together for their mutual benefit, means for their own benefit they are working and living together. So that process is called symbiosis. Lichens show symbiotic relationship or symbiosis. Lichen is showing that relationship, that's why it is called a symbiotic relationship. Similarly, rhizobium bacteria live in the nodules of the roots of leguminous plant. Leguminous plant like what? Pea and gram plant, they are called as leguminous plant. So in their nodules, rhizobium bacteria, it is present in the nodules of this plant and provide them nitrogen in a soluble form. And rhizobium bacteria what is doing? Providing nitrogen to the leguminous plant, and in return leguminous plant also provide something to the rhizobium bacteria, food and all. So there also what? Mutual relationship, means it is a leguminous plant. In the nodules of the leguminous plant, nitrogen bacteria is present, and in return the plants provide food and shelter to the rhizobium bacteria. Rhizobium bacteria is providing nitrogen, and in return the food and shelter is being provided by the by the plants to the rhizobium bacteria. Means rhizobium bacteria is getting food and shelter, and in return rhizobium bacteria is providing nitrogen in a soluble form to the roots of this plant. And root nodules in soil, both organisms benefit each other. Means both the organism, means plants and that rhizobium bacteria, they are benefiting each other, and they are living each other and working each other. That is why that is also an example of that symbiosis. Now next topic is special mode of nutrition. Now what is a special mode of nutrition? Here we'll see a few plants feed on insects for fulfilling their nitrogen requirement. Means what? Few plants, not all the plants. Few plants feed, means they depend on insects for nitrogen requirements. Why is it so? See here, such insect eating plants are called insectivorous plant, and we can understand by the word insectivorous, means insects related to insect. Means those plants which are which eating insects, so those plants will be called as insectivorous plants. And here pitcher plant, Atricularia, Venus flytrap, Drosera are insectivorous plants. Means these are the examples of insectivorous plants. Means they are the names of these insectivorous plants. They are generally green plants. Means insectivorous plants are not like that they are of different color. They are generally green plants only, but because they do not get full requirements of nitrogen from the soil, so sometimes they depend on the other insects. So therefore they can prepare their own food. Means they can prepare, they can do the photosynthesis process, but due to what they cannot get the nitrogen. So but for preparing proteins they cannot get nitrogen. Means for preparing protein, means to prepare protein they need nitrogen. And how they take nitrogen? They take from the surrounding. So surrounding means what? The insects on which they feed fulfill their nitrogen requirements. Means on those insects on which the plant depends, so these insects fulfill their nitrogen requirement process. So here in a pitcher plant, where is pitcher plant? Here we will see this is a pitcher plant. You can see the picture of how a pitcher plant looks. Okay. In a pitcher plant, the leaf lamina is modified to leaf from a pitcher like structure. Means the leaf lamina means this is leaf, है ना. Pitcher like means what? A cover, है ना, like a what? Cover. So it is what? To leaf form a pitcher like structure, the apex of the leaf is modified into a lead. Means apex means top part of the this pitcher plant is lead, means like a cover, close and open. So what? The apex of the leaf is modified into a lead pitcher plant which can open and close the mouth of the pitcher. So what? This way they can open and close the mouth of the pitcher. What? Inside the pitcher there are hairs which are directed downwards, and inside this there are the hairs where that insects get stuck and remain there only. Okay. So when an insect lands on the pitcher, the lid closes and the trapped insect gets entangled in the hair. As you can see here in this picture, that what? As the insect get down in the hairs present at the downside, so when it gets entered, the insect gets stuck in the hairs of this plant, and due to which what? The insect get trapped and remain inside only. Okay. So there the insect is digested by the digestive juices secreted in the pitcher. Means in the digestive juices is present in the pitcher plant, and with the help of these digestive juices the insect is digested, and all the nutrients of insects gets entered into the plant's body, and nitrogen also same way entered from the insect to the plant. That is why this process of nutrition is insectivorous. What? A special mode of nutrition, and which plants are called as insectivorous plants. Okay. Now next topic is replenishment of nutrients in the soil. As we know, that nutrient which is present in the soil is used by the plants, है ना. So what? Again and again, how nutrients get entered into the soil, means how the soil again will get the nutrient after the once it is used. So replenish means again refill. Refill means again we need to put nutrient. If we are not putting, but naturally it should be done. So how this process being done, that we will see. Plants absorb the mineral nutrient, especially nitrogen, from the soil. Means plants are absorbing what? Minerals, nutrients, and especially nitrogen also from the soil. Therefore, there is a depletion of nitrogen in the soil over a period of time. Mean after some time there will be a depletion of nitrogen, means there will be a lack of nitrogen in the soil. So how this will replenish, means how this will refill. So here manure and fertilizers are used to replenish the nutrients in the soil. Means manures and fertilizers we used to put in the soil so that soil can enrich the soil can enrich for the soil for the nutrients and minerals and all. So manures and fertilizers providing nutrients, special nutrients and nitrogen to the soil. These manure and fertilizers contain nutrients such as nitrogen, potassium and phosphorus needed by the plants for their healthy growth. Means what? For the healthy growth of plants need this all nutrients, nitrogen, potassium and phosphorus. So who they all contain? Manure and fertilizer. They all contain this thing so that plants can get the good growth and get the nitrogen and all the nutrients from the soil by putting the manure and fertilizers into the soil. And on plants body also it used to put. So these nutrients need to be added from time to time to enrich the soil. These nutrients should be added in time to time to enrich the soil. And rhizobium bacteria living in the nodules of the roots of leguminous plants enrich the soil with nitrogen. And this work who is more doing? Rhizobium bacteria also doing what? Taking the nutrients from the other plants body and providing the nitrogen in the form of soluble form to the plants and to the soil. So this is a natural way of replenishing the soil with nitrogen, and rhizobium bacteria is the that is the natural process, the natural way it is providing the nitrogen to the soil. So this is how the replenishment of nutrients in the soil being done. Okay, so this chapter is over, children, and thank you so much.